Talk about if you could identify a few of your most memorable experiences as a presenter.
Well, there's one that really stands out, and it was shortly after 9/11. We had a small dance company booked for only 3 days after, and we canceled that. But about 10 days after, we had the singer-songwriter Janice Ian scheduled. And we talked and said, no, let's go forward with this. It was a very somber time in this country. And that performance night came, and Janice arrived, and you could tell she didn't know if she should be there. She didn't feel it was right. Audience members arrived. They didn't know if they should be there. Very somber, very quiet. Janice is a great singer, but she's also a great storyteller. In fact, she jokes that when she meets audience members out in the lobby, sometimes they won't chastise her for not singing a particular song. They'll chastise her for not telling a particular story that she tells. It was very quiet in that auditorium. Janice told a story, and there was a ripple of laughter. A few moments later, the laughter got bigger, and the laughter got bigger. By the end of that evening, that audience walked out saying, it's going to be okay. We talk about the transformative nature of the performing arts, but there it was, fully laid out, of taking people who were not knowing what was going to happen with this country, walking out of a theater thinking it's going to be okay and we're going to move forward. And Janice could move forward later on. And she came back years later and remembered that, that story. So beyond everything else, that has been the most memorable performance we have ever put on at that theater.
Wow. Yeah, I remember that time, and when Letterman came on and gave, it was like a week and a half after, and I think he gave people permission to laugh again.
Yes.
In a way, and so.
And you needed that.
Yeah.
And you couldn't have done that at home in front of your television, because you would have been laughing alone.
Right.
It was that laughter, a communal laughter, a communal experience that, okay, together we're going to come out of this all right.
Yep.
So that was it. Oh, there are other, as I say, performances that just, as I say, when an artist respects the audience and gives them what they want, when an artist arrives at your venue and it's like good company at a dinner party and you don't want them to leave, as opposed to the artist who arrives and you want them to leave as soon as they get there, or even before, don't even show up. Those are the kind of experiences, and as I say, that discovery, that trust that an audience member gives you, that.
Remember, you had a big hand in bringing Leahy down to the Carolinas.
Leahy, there's a fun story. I had just gotten on this job, and I went to Wilmington, North Carolina, to meet some people who had this thing called the North Carolina Presenters Consortium.
What the heck is that?
That the people at the North Carolina Arts Council said I should go talk to. And I remember there were maybe 8 or 10 people around a table, and one of them was the program person at Thalian Hall in Wilmington by the name of Stephen Barefoot. That September, I went to my first booking conference, a conference where you select the artist that you're going to put on the season. I had never been to a booking conference before. And Stephen Barefoot came up to me very excitedly and said, I need to talk to you. There's a group I just saw in Canada that we have to bring down here. So first of all, I thought it was wonderful that Stephen Barefoot was talking to me, because I knew nothing was going on. And so I said, sure, let's talk about this. That performance of Leahy, which I think ended up being 2 to 3 weeks in North Carolina, their first time out of Canada, did another thing. They were opening for Shania Twain the year before, coming to these North Carolina venues. One of the performances of Shania Twain was just down the road in Greenville, South Carolina, and a contingent from the city of Asheville went down to see it, including the Civic Center director. Leahy came and just blew everybody away in the opening act. and said, oh, and by the way, we're going to be playing these various cities, and one of them was Asheville, North Carolina. So all these city officials turned to the head of the Civic Center to give him a thumbs up, and he just said, I don't know. They found that there was a new player in town, that they assumed an act like Leahy would only play the Civic Center instead of the Diana Wortham Theater. So that was one of those serendipitous situations. Here I was, a new presenter, meeting this new group of people, Stephen Barefoot trusting me that I could carry this off, being a part of this tour, which was wonderful, and put the theater on the map. In that very first season, it was there. And the Leahy family is one of those that they are like family. Mm-hmm. And we have had both Leahy, then we've had Donnell Leahy and his wife Natalie McMaster, and other members of the family come down. They bring their golf clubs, and they love it.